You're listening to The Vault Unlocked, where the real secrets of success are revealed. Every episode, one founder, one confession, one strategy that created income, scale, and unstoppable growth. The code is cracked. The vault is open. Today, we have Mrs. Publicity herself, Jill Lublin. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great, Kayvon. Great to be here with you.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have you here. I love all things publicity. I think we're living in a world where everything is about your brand and getting attention, and publicity is all about that. So please tell us a little bit about, a little bit of who Jill is. How did Jill get to this spot? What do we need to know about publicity? Why is it important? All of it.
Well, thank you. So I got to this point. I actually wrote a wonderful book, Guerrilla Publicity, and that kind of really catapulted everything. I used to own a PR agency, so I'm really big on how to get things done. I took all that PR agency experience where people paid me a lot more than what I charge now. Why? Because my heart's with the entrepreneur, and I wanted to create ways to get publicity done without spending a fortune. I do that now in what I call my media mastery intensives and my small group programs, just really letting people get publicity done, like no kidding, no nonsense. So that's been a lot of fun. I actually started my career in the music business. And if you want to talk, how to get out there, wow. The music business is all about perception. So that's really where I learned my chops, so to speak, in the music business. And now I use this with, entrepreneurs and small business owners to really get your word out there and do it in smart, simple ways.
Well, you just said something to me, which I love that. You said is perception. That's a big word, and I know what that means, but I want to dig deep. I want to go in that a little bit. But before we do, Jen, I want to make sure people understand the difference, because there's a massive difference between publicity and marketing and or sales and whatever there else might be. I want them to really understand, like, when we say publicity, what is publicity to you? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, well, first of all, publicity happens from the minute you walk out your door. What am I saying? I mean, in the Zoom room. I mean, for a cup of coffee. I mean, at the airport. You're always doing publicity. You are representing yourself, your business, all that, is important to you in making a living. So let's do it right. Let's do it smart. That's really what I want you to do with your publicity and get it done well. Is publicity going to get you sales? Yes, it will. Will it get you prospects and clients? Yes, it will. Will it grow trust in the marketplace so that people say, I've heard of you somewhere? Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah.
So it's really about getting known, being seen, being heard, and getting paid, and using publicity as a strategy to do that, which is free and is like really earned media. So that trust factor is really huge, meaning people see an interview of you like we're doing here today. We're laying down foundation, giving people value and benefit. That goes a long way to creating trust in the marketplace.
So let's give some benefit for someone. If someone was sitting there and they're going, what? Like publicity? I've always wanted publicity, but how do I get onto the Forbes? How do I get onto the stages? How do I, get seen? How do I get on the top 10 lists and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all that stuff? I don't have a budget. What can someone do when it comes to publicity, specifically publicity for their brand, that gets them seen, like you said, that gets them known, that gets them to build the trust? What are some of the things that you teach people doing in that regard?
So one of the things I'm big on is creating a message, a strong message that people care about, that's consistent and persistent in the marketplace. Like, who are you and what problem do you solve in the marketplace? That's a biggie. So I love helping people with that. It's actually a talent of mine to find the right message that matters, because the truth is, it's not always just about your business. It could be a story. It could be something you've been through. It could be something that's part of your life. Like, for instance, I have a business communication coach, and we're doing great stories about how to communicate more effectively in business. Yes, and she's a Black woman. When Black History Month happens, we completely switch her story to how to be a powerful Black woman in today's times and communicate well. That's the story that got her into Essence Magazine, into Black Enterprise. I call this use everything you've got. This is where you use your ethnicity, your religion, your story. Like my business consultant, she is a business consultant. She has a son who's autistic. We utilize National Autism Month to talk about being a mom, raising an autistic son. How do you do that? That's another conversation. But here's what's interesting. It always drives people to your website, to what you want them to do, and makes such a big difference.
So I heard something in there that I was wondering, because you said the message is all about consistency and persistency, okay, which I love that. But then in there, you're saying that you change up the narrative and or the story depending on, the opportunities you have, which I love. Utilize take what is your fortress and turn it in your fuel. I love it, okay? But in this case, changing, from business coach to business coach, specifically for for the Black community, let's say, isn't that changing up the consistency part of your messaging?
What it is it's widening your net so that you can actually catch more people in it, prospects, people who relate to you, people who think, "Oh, you're interesting. I want to know more." That's really what we want to get to. The I want to know more part, the trust factor, oh yeah, you're somebody interesting. Yes, I want to do business with you, because that's going to lead to conversations, connections, and frankly, clients. And that's what publicity does. It gets you clients, it gets you prospects. And in today's marketplace, it gets you trust. And that's important.
Well, this goes to the perception. So I believe that perception's everything. And what you can perceive yourself to be is completely different than who you might be and who you really are. Now, do you find that you have better success with, let's say, business owners, whoever it might be, people who are looking to build their brands, their businesses that are more in congruency with who they are versus in kind of disalignment with the perception they're perceiving?
Ask me that question a slightly different way.
So I'm just wondering, because we know perception's everything, right? And how many people do we know? I'm just thinking about all the fake influencers out there that are making themselves look like they're King, King Tut, have all this money, have all this freedom, but they have nothing. It's all fake. I know that there's people that are renting now. They're buying like storage units, turning them into making them look like they're in a private jet, charging business owners $10,000 a session to come in and get videos to make them look like they're on a private jet. You can get like a la carte. You want the girls with you? Okay, we'll get the girls. You want you can fill out the menu of what you want to buy, so you can give the perception that you're someone you're not. Which I'm where I'm going in my life, and the things that I kind of value is I don't see how that works long term. I don't see how it doesn't come back.
That's not authentic, and that's not resonant. The things I'm always teaching, and absolutely my clients and I insist on, is be authentic to your message, who you are, what who you are. That's scamming, and my clients don't scam. But I think it's important to think about, who are you and what do you offer, and stay aligned with that. Listen, I have introverts who are a little afraid, oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. And you know what? I give them a script and now they're prepared, because the truth is your message needs to be prepared. I think it is important that you have a message that's powerful, connected, that it's who you are really in your soul spirit, and be that. Be that and
be
give
authentic. That's what I was alluding to is that. So it's interesting, because as you're talking and you're saying, I help people with their messaging, let's just say that, and helping them find maybe that message, the one liner. Hey, what is it you do X, right? I look at that, and I want to hear your thoughts, because I would love to, learn more. I look at that more as branding. That's your, there's branding, there's your marketing, there's your sales, there's your publicity. It seems like you help people a lot with their brand as well as their publicity. Because when we think publicity, I think publications, I think Forbes, I think a book. I think getting on radio shows and podcasts and all, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and that is publicity. Getting in Forbes, being on podcasts, exactly what we're doing now, giving good information to people. That's publicity. Knowing what to say is publicity. It's a message. It's not exactly a brand, but let me just say there's a big tree called marketing.
Yes.
And in the tree called marketing, there's a branch, a very important branch called publicity, which is free, which generates and excites people, which connects people. And by the way, this whole wild thing with AI, guess how AI is finding people? Through their publicity. I'm reading article after article about this. It's fascinating to me.
Tell me a little bit more about this, because I want to understand that AI is finding people through their publicity, meaning they're through their SEO? Through
getting name recognition. So like if you're featured in Forbes, guess who's going to pick you up?
Yeah.
AI. Guess who's going to pick you up? Your clients. Guess where you're going to walk into a client meeting, whether it's again on Zoom or live, saying, hey, I was featured in Forbes. Let me just tell you, you're going to the front of the line. You just are, because people trust publicity, because you're not paying for publicity. You earn it. That makes a big difference.
Okay. So because there is pay. This is why I'm interested in here, because there is paid and then there's earned publicity. And
that's true.
I'm convinced that most of this publicity that we're seeing from people is all paid.
It isn't actually. When you're watching, TV, radio, listening on what's called terrestrial radio, and most podcasts, most people are not paying to be on. I'm not paying to be on today, right?
It's just to be on today, but some of the top podcasts, they charge their guests to get on those shows.
Well, unfortunately, that's true. Now they are. And there's still a lot of free stuff. So I focus on the free stuff. Listen, my book, Guerrilla Publicity, we're all about
I love the free stuff. Let's give the audience a little bit, if it's okay, a little bit more knowledge on so let me ask you this. What are free modalities for publicity that people can use? I would say obviously less outside of your social media platform. So if we're not talking about my own social media platform, what are some free publicity modalities a business owner can start utilizing right now to create that perception?
Yeah, let me just say, social media is not publicity. Please, you are not doing your publicity if you think you're doing social media. You just aren't. So let's just cancel that. Let's start.
I love it. Let's go. Here we are. We're getting to the good stuff now.
Yeah, and let's start with the fact that your publicity, like I want you to look at nationaldaycalendar.com. Great resource, free, and take a look at what holidays would be perfect for who you are and what you got going on, right? And how can you fit in? Like, here's a great example. I've got a book, The Profit of Kindness. Well, World Kindness Day is November 13th. Excellent. We can focus efforts on that. But I'm going to tell you, I also go out for Random Acts of Kindness month, it turns out. Well, it's actually week. Random Acts of Kindness week in February. And you know what I say? I get contrary. I say, to heck with random acts of kindness. Let's practice a conscious act of kindness every single day. That's a contrary message. It fits in both places, by the way. And so that's a little bit use everything I've got. That's a demonstration of that. And that all came from nationaldaycalendar.com. So I definitely want y'all to start there. It is a great opportunity to connect quickly to a wonderful place that fits. Okay, so just saying, that's a great thing.
So I always say if I don't understand it, other people can't understand it, because I was always the one that was in the bottom half of the class and made the top half perfect. So I get what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is go to the website, and then you can see all the days, all the national days, all the type of whatever you want to call them,
holidays.
Holidays. Thank you. That are in the calendar year, and then you find the ones that are in alignment. So we're talking about being in alignment, right? We're finding the ones that are in alignment with you. So now let's for me, ADD, Mr. ADHD, right? I find the ADD, ADHD day, right? And I'm going to attach myself to that day. What am I doing now, or what am I using, or how am I taking that day and being able to promote myself and use publicity without.
So one of the things I want you to do is do it in advance and don't wait till the day to get
We all know
started, please.
that. We're like very much in advance. So make sure we know that. I'm talking probably 6 to 8 months in advance, but yes.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. And sometimes less, by the way, because sometimes people just need somebody right on the spot. Yeah. So, but please don't wait till, I had one client, she goes, oh, tomorrow's whatever day. And I'm like, no, let's go for next year.
Yeah.
Occasionally you might get very lucky, but hardly. Yeah. So you want to plan in advance. And I say 3, 6, 9 months. It tends to be the time frame to look at. Typically you can put together a press release or like what I call an easy pitch. Could just be an easy pitch, like, hey, I'm the ADHD guy, and on May 1st, it's that celebration. I'd love to come on and share not only my journey, but 3 great things that people with ADHD couldn't do to feel better and to, not feel as scared of it. Here are the things you can do.
I totally get what you're saying. Yeah. So then the step is you find the day, you find the organization, and you reach out to the organization to see how you can actually be part of that day in that community.
Right. That's definitely one way. I'm a big believer in local, so wherever you are in the world, go local. Go local. I got a woman in the UK, got into London, BBC, which of course is huge, by going local. So I'm really big on go local. That means your local newspapers, your local business journals, your local ABC, NBC, CBS, and so on and so forth affiliates. Yeah. Why? Because funny enough, when you're in local, you get picked up national and international. Yeah. Because they're looking. They got producers scanning all kinds of resources, and they are looking for you, experts who are featured in different places.
I could tell the wealth of knowledge, obviously, from your experience. I love it. So how do you work with your clients today? Like if someone is like, man, I want some publicity. I got a messaging problem. How do they work with Jill?
Well, they definitely can come in. What I'd love to tell you about, I have a great way that you can get connected really quick. And that is my free gift to you, which is an action guide. I've got more great tips. You like these? You're going to love them even more. And then that also includes a wonderful interactive, no kidding, class with me, live with me, where you get to ask great questions. And we're going to go deep on actually some of these other topics. So check that out. It's jilllublin.com/guide. GUID, and that's an opportunity to come in and really get to the next step.
I love that. So we're at that point in the show where my favorite part is the pitch me. This is where you get to pitch me and my audience, the elevator pitch of what you do and seeing how we can make it better, perfect it, and make it something that's powerful. So Jill, in the context of our show, of podcasts, of our listeners, I know they love this part. It is your chance to pitch me.
Wonderful. Well, I'd love to tell you about the opportunity for you to get more visibility quickly. I actually have a media panel. Imagine this, you in front of a media panel, just like we're doing right now. Oh my gosh. Telling the media who you are, what you're up to, and why they should care. And they're going to be there, right there at the Media Mastery Intensive to listen to your pitch, to also tell you what works in the media, what's hot, what's not, and support you with getting better and frankly, giving a better pitch in a very safe environment where you can be seen and heard and corrected as need be, right? And I think that makes such a big difference. And so that's all done in the Media Mastery Intensive. It's simple, it's fast, it's effective, and it's interactive and live with me the whole time. So lots of breakouts and lots of chance to actually practice. So, what do you think?
Well, I think it was a lot. And I think we can definitely shorten it for the elevator pitch. Because again, for me, an elevator pitch isn't trying to sell the product. It's just in publicity, trying to get their attention, the quickest way to attention. So what I heard in that, because I've done this enough, is one of the greatest gifts you actually have in your product is this media panel. AKA, I'm assuming I'm not going to call them producers, but they're people who can get you onto media.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Right.
Yes, it is. Well, it's people with actual shows.
Yes. So like you come here and if you're good, like you have an opportunity to actually get on shows. And when you get on one, you get on 10. It's about getting on the right one. So you get access to that. That's massive. You understand?
Yes.
That is what I call is access. And you don't get access to these people unless you know these people. And you know these people because you have 20, 30, 40 years in this space. These are your personal contacts. These are the people you pick up on the phone. So if you're getting into your environment, that means you believe in that person. And that means that person has a chance to actually change their perception and their actual business and their life, because one yes from one of these media panelists, this could change everything for them. But that's not what, but here's the thing. That's not what we're saying. Do you know how 4 out of 5 business owners struggle to get on major public platforms such as NBC, Fox News, blah, 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 blah? Well, what I do is I actually curated a panel that allows people like you to pitch to them and get you in quicker, faster, more effective. Done. Because what happens now? What's my next question? How? That's all you're looking for. So I would work on, that was quick off me, but I would work on getting what I call these wow statements. These are wow statements. You in publicity, I'm sure you know wow statement, right? Like, wow, 4 and 5 try and they can't cut through. I don't want to be that 4 or 5. Now, you know what I mean? Or it's like, did you know, or as a result of, right? So did you know 4 out of 5 business professionals who try to cut through the media fail? And it all comes down to one thing, comes down to access. They don't have access to the people. They don't have access to the resources, and they don't even have access to the knowledge of how to get to the people. Well, what I do is I give them access. Done. How do I sign up? Ding, 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 ding. I love it. Okay. Well, Jill, that was fun. I almost feel like we can go on forever here, but I love it. I think I said in the beginning, I think we live in a world today where your brand, your publicity is everything. It's going to be more important than ever. And if you're struggling with it, or if you're having hard times with it, it seems like there is access right here, right in front of you. Someone who's willing to open their doors, give you free materials. We'll have that in the show notes for you. And we'll go from there. So Jill, again, to the world of publicity, to the world of getting seen, to getting heard, and building trust, I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show. And that was another episode of The Vault Unlocked, where proven builders, real strategies, and unstoppable growth happens. Subscribe now. The next unlock could be your success. The code is cracked. The vault is open.